Well, what's your level of curiosity to see kind of how the offense takes shape over the next month, not knowing really what it's going to look like yet?
Yeah, I think it's always high going into this time of year. You always want to see how things develop, and obviously with a new staff and some new pieces on offense, excited to see how it all looks and how we continue to progress throughout this training camp.
Where do you guys feel you're at, as you learn this new offense and you come in? It's just day one, but how are you feeling overall about where this offense is at?
I mean, I'd say for sure better than where we were at the start of the spring. So you kind of come in, and this is going to be our second time going through the install again. So kind of relearn what you already know, but kind of hone in on more of those details throughout camp, and excited to go through that process and see how we handle all that information to come.
Well, there were a lot of you guys last year talking about wanting to be coached harder, wanting to have more focus on detail, holding people accountable, things like that. Caleb has talked about wanting to be coached harder. What have you observed from the way that Ben is coaching him and how he's responding to it?
Well, I won't speak on Caleb specifically, but I can speak for myself, and I know just the feeling I get from my position coach Jim, and I know that's coming from Ben, kind of setting the tone with those guys upstairs, and you feel that from Declan, kind of leading the offense as well, and then obviously from Ben himself. But no detail goes unnoticed, and despite the result that might happen, you may catch a ball and it might be a big play in practice, but he's harping on the detail of your alignment's off or your steps are off here, and even though we got the result right, we didn't do it the right way at times, and those are the details that you need to hear. And you can't be result driven all the time, especially this time of the year in training camp. You really got to be detail driven, and Ben's all about the details, and you feel that in every meeting. So I think that's the one.
Early impressions of going against Dennis Allen's defense. I know it's been early, but even today in practice, what do you notice about facing that team?
He'll bring a lot of stuff, especially on the first plays of camp and mini camp. I don't know that. So it definitely brings a lot of various pressures and obviously different looks and coverages rotating here and there. But and those guys, they definitely harp on playing hard man coverage and being physical with guys in the routes, and I think that's all really good to see, and excited to see those guys on defense thrive this year in that type of scheme.
Were you surprised when Ben yanked the first team off?
No, not at all. That's I think that's on par for how Ben is. So
Did you repeat what he said, or?
No, I don't think so. I think I was actually a little exhausted, so all I heard was a little bit of yelling, and I knew that obviously things weren't going well there for the last few plays. But no, I think that's on par for Ben. If you're not doing it right, he's going to get you out, and he's not going to just see that stuff continue. So it's just a lesson to us that you got to be on the details. We got to be on the details going into practice, and in order to get our reps in, because unfortunately, when that type of stuff happens, we got guys now missing out on reps, and those are opportunities for guys, whether to make a team or whatever. So all the reps are important. All of it matters.
Was that just early install kind of sloppiness with new stuff?
I would just say it's stuff we should know. Yeah.
Well, you're still the union rep, right?
I am. Yeah. I know a lot's been going on. I will say I've been busy for the past couple of months between the nuptials and some honeymoon things. So I don't know if I'm the guy to ask. I was on a call a few weeks ago, but besides that, I'm not too sure as to the details as of everything going on.
Do you have faith that they will get this next hire right and that they learned?
I sure hope so. Yeah.
What did you make of the happenings the last week?
Obviously it's unfortunate, and to see the union, to see that happen with your union, is really unfortunate. But hopefully that we can respond and put good leadership in place.
Does it mean that it played out so publicly?
I think that just is what it is nowadays. I think I'm not surprised by really much, especially in our business, playing out publicly these days.
Well, circling back to Brad's question, how do you as a leader and somebody that's been around for a while calibrate your patience/impatience when there's sloppiness that should be, not there?
I think it's a balance. I think this time of year when, today's day one, so I think naturally maybe, there's the feeling of, it's just day one, but, you got to have that urgency from the get-go. And I think Ben's brought that for sure. But, we on the team, we got to bring that every single day. And, we also, not only do the coaches are going to be holding us accountable, we got to hold each other accountable with that stuff as well. And so we can do a better job of that. And we got to do a good job of that throughout this training camp in order to get where we want to go.
Cole, your offensive coordinator's only like a couple years older than you.
Yeah.
What's that been like so far?
Well, credit to Declan. It doesn't feel like that at all. I mean, obviously, he doesn't look old. I'm not saying that, but he doesn't present himself as a young guy at all. He handles meetings really well, and he demands a lot of respect on the football field. And the main thing is he knows what he's talking about. You know, if you don't know what you're talking about, guys can sense that, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. So I don't think it really matters how old you are. If you know what you're doing and know what you're saying, guys are going to respond and guys are going to listen. And I think guys have done that so far.
Well, what was it like being out there with Colston today?
It was great. Yeah, I know he's got a little bit more to go, but excited to see where he goes and can see where he can fit in the offense and those type of things. You know, obviously a great athlete. You know, got great size, really fluid in his routes. Got great speed too. So looking forward to seeing him develop this training camp and how he's going to help us this season.
Do you view that as a competition or kind of how you two can work together in tandem?
I think it's both. I think there's naturally areas where we're going to compete with one another just because we're in the same position and we're both pass catchers. And, you know, I always feel like despite if you're a tight end, running back, receiver, we're all competing with one another for certain roles in the offense. And, you know, nowadays they can put you anywhere. And so as long as you can show the coaches that you can handle certain things, they're going to put you all over the field. So, yeah, there's aspects of it that's competition, and then there's aspects where I think that we're going to be able to complement each other's game really well. So looking forward to see how that pans out. Looking forward to the competition. I think it's going to make both of us a lot better. But then when it comes to the season, it'll be fun to see how we complement one another on the football field.
Well, how intrigued are you by the left tackle competition? I know obviously it's not going to affect you directly all the time, but
Yeah.
if you're asked to block in line, that could be the guy that you're next to. How does that affect you when they're rotating?
Yeah, sure. I think it's just getting reps with all those guys during this time of year, and I think camp's a good time for that. You know, we're going to get reps with a bunch of different guys, just because that's the nature of camp. And but I'm looking forward to see where that goes. And look, I think there's competition across the board in the offense. I'm sure that's a highlighted one here coming into camp, but looking forward to see how those guys compete. And I think whenever you bring in and have competition across the board at all position groups, it's only going to make the team better. So looking forward to that.
What do you like most about the offense so far? Does anything stand out?
Well, obviously how creative Ben is, and you've seen that in Detroit, and how detail oriented he is within the offense, and just I mean his knowledge in general is just great. So there's a lot of things that, you know, even when we've come back from the spring break, this summer break here, maybe some tweaks here and there on some routes that we've seen that they looked over in terms of how we ran them in the spring and kind of adjusting them to whether it's to help us get open better or scheme open guys better. It's just really cool to kind of see that progression and that growth within the offense.
Couple more. Can I give you another union question?
Sure, yeah, I'll answer what I can. Yeah, absolutely.
As it comes out that there's a decision made on guaranteed salaries, and it's kind of double secret probation. Nobody.
Yeah.
Should those things be shared with the players by the heads of their own union?
I would think so. Now I say that without knowing too much detail about that certain subject. I think, you know, I know guaranteed contracts are a big talk amongst players and amongst people in the league. And, you know, the thing is when I look at Major League Baseball, predominantly, obviously, guaranteed contracts, basketball the same way. I don't know if there's really anything in their union or CBA clause that states they have to be guaranteed. It's a precedent that's set, and I think we saw with some guys this year in the draft, second round guys starting to get guaranteed contracts. So that starts the precedent, and it makes it hard to go back on that in years going forward. So it's kind of on us players to set that precedent for the guaranteed side of things and get that going. I'm sure that'll take time. I don't know if that'll even happen while I'm playing or anyone here is playing, but I think that's a slow burn that can happen over the course of time.
No, you could have been a baseball player and not had to worry.
Well, yeah, that's also a long road in those minor league systems.
Cole, what about the 18-game conversation? I mean, where do you stand on that, and how do you think your next union head picking that person?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different opinions on that in terms of how they want to go about it. I think if you're going 18 games, obviously there needs to be a cut somewhere in the schedule, in my opinion. I think we could all benefit, you know, if we're doing that by adding an extra bye week within the season if you're going 18 games, and then obviously, you know, you'd want to from a player side, I would think you'd want a bigger share of the pie for the revenue split, and I think those are all the things that you want to look at for an 18th game. But again, that's also something I'm not I wouldn't say I'm totally informed on, but those are my few opinions on the 18th game matter. Awesome.
What have you learned early on about Dennis Allen's aggressiveness and his want to kind of set that tone?
I mean, I think, being with him for the off season a little bit now, kind of in the camp, I just kind of like his expectation. It's set from the start. He wants to dictate terms and take his chances. And I think as a defense, you love that, right? The onus is on the player, and now it's on us to kind of win our matchups and go get it. And obviously, he has his wrinkles and things like that. But I think we'll get into kind of X's and O's as we go. But I think just mentality wise and kind of where he's coming from, you can appreciate it for sure.
Do you like doing up downs?
It took me back to like 7th, 8th grade a little bit. Like you're going a little bit. But it was funny. I was talking to Kevin Byard because I was just like checking my tempo a little bit, and your head's just kind of straight down the whole time. But he was wearing green cleats today. Saw the corner of my eye, just like Periff's cleats. I was just making sure I was kind of going the same as he was. But it was cool to kind of, obviously when you're in it, it's not that cool. But when you get done, and you all are kind of a little tired, and then you go out to practice, it's kind of what you want. It's like that grimy kind of camp start. But it was a good time for sure.
TJ, how about Ben? What was your impression of first practice run by him?
Yeah, I think obviously, right, like we're out there competing from the start, and I think when you get into camp, kind of from what I've seen in the past, I love that just from the first play we're competing. And again, first day, so we'll see more and more of kind of how that flow goes. But his expectations are high, and that's what this is. This is the NFL. That's what it should be. So he expects a lot from both sides of the ball and special teams as well. And we'll obviously continue to kind of see more of that for sure.
How much did you guys hear from him defense? How much did you guys?
I mean, he knows what our expectations are from DA, right? So he knows kind of what we need to be doing, and so he, he'll let us know if he doesn't see that. But I think again, we'll kind of get into more of a flow of what that looks like. Obviously he's working with the offense and things like that, but he's definitely talking to us and letting us know what he sees too.
What kind of tone did Tremaine's interception on that first play set for you guys?
It was awesome. I think especially, right, you're coming from the up downs and stuff, and like you're kind of getting going, and then we get a pick, and it's like it's football time. And I think it was a great way to start. Obviously, that's what you want. That's what you talk about doing. So for him to go out there and do it, it was awesome. Go score and everything like that too. It was a great way to start.
Back to those up downs, Dennis talked about setting the culture here. Do you think does stuff like that actually work?
I mean, I understand it for sure, right? I mean, I think I've been doing this for a little bit now. But I think when you get the whole team buying in and knowing that every single person that's going to be on that field has to do it, right? There's no treatment. It doesn't matter what year you are. You're out there doing it. How offensive lineman or defensive lineman, things like that. You're going to be out there doing up downs. I think that's cool, right? And he let us know about it. He set the standard. He showed us what it was going to look like it was a drill, like anything else. And again, that kind of just shows his expectation and what he wants it to look like. And I think afterwards we all laughing about it and stuff like that. But so it was a good time for sure.
As I say, not everybody has to do it. Just half the team has to do it.
Yeah, just half the team. But again, right, like it's defense. We want to go dictate terms and to go play for this defense. Those are things you got to do. And so. Is what it is.
You were a union alternate last year, right?
Yeah.
Are you this year too?
Yeah.
What do you make of that happened last week?
I mean, obviously, like I'm fresh off these up downs right now. I'm gonna go hit some recovery and stuff like that. But I know Cole was kind of talking about it too a little bit, and he's our rep for that stuff. And obviously, kind of a lot of things been out in the news and everything like that. Something that we're still on calls talking about, but. For me right now, I'm kind of locked in on what's going on here.
I'll take one more swing at it. But what do you need in your next league?
I'll take one more response for you. I'm gonna go hit this recovery. No, I got you.
What do you need in the next leader, whoever it may be?
Yeah, I hear you. Like I know, like I got you, but for me, I don't know a ton in terms of that right now. There's still a bunch of calls going on, so we'll see what happens for sure.
What are you looking forward to hitting in this recovery?
Yeah, man, it's a good cold tub. All the modalities we got. It'll be good, man. I'm excited. Football's here, and now the fun begins.
How would you describe Grady's presence since he's got here?
Yeah, I feel like just his vocal leadership's been awesome, and again, he's a guy who's been kind of doing that since OTAs. He's been here every day, locked in, ready to go. Again, right, like a older guy, but you can see it when he's out there, man. He's got so much juice in him, and he's just ready to go. I feel like the way that he's gonna be kind of that vocal leader, and also a guy who does it by example for that D line room. You got a bunch of alphas in that room, so it's gonna be fun for sure.
Do you think the defense needed that more than anything, just in terms of, you guys were talking about a culture shift and reset this year? Was someone like Grady and his veteran presence, but also the type of leadership he brings, was that maybe a missing link from last year that you think you have now?
I don't know. I don't know in terms of what it looked like from the past, but I know that we're really excited to have him now and have a guy like that. And I think what it does, it's a competition between everyone. I think no matter who you bring in or kind of what they've done, you go out there and you have to compete with the guys next to you and the guys on the other side of the ball. And so I think that adds a lot to that group. Obviously, a guy who's been playing at a high level for a long time. And as a linebacker, I'm definitely excited we got him for sure.
Not your call, but what are you looking for with that third spot next to you and Tremaine? Like what skill set would fit best, do you think?
I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like we got a really good room, a really good room, and coach is kind of trying to ask us to kind of do them all right now, just so we can get a feel for the defense and things like that. But there's so many guys who could play that role. Again, it's a more of a physical presence for sure. But that's kind of, I feel like we all kind of have that ability too. And a bunch of guys have been rotating in, doing a really good job. So again, that's what we want at linebacker. It's not just like me and Maine got to go out there and prove it every day too, right? So it'll be a good fluid kind of rotation. And again, we're all kind of doing them all, and we'll kind of see where that falls for sure.
What have you learned about Dennis's scheme and what it can do for linebackers in terms of setting them up for big play?
Yeah, it's aggressive, and it's a defense. There's also like a good amount of thinking too, right? There's a lot of processing and being able to have vision at times, and also winning your one-on-ones, right? And going and attacking downhill, getting the doubles off of the big guys up front, so they can go do what they need to do. But again, as we kind of go, we'll I feel like we'll find our sweet spot for kind of what we'll be doing. And right now, he's going to throw it all at us to see what we can handle, and I appreciate that, because that's kind of what it is in camp. You're seeing a ton. You're seeing kind of, at first you start off just seeing a whole bunch of things, and then towards the end you kind of can narrow your vision down. And so I think he's doing a good job of kind of throwing it at us and see what sticks for sure.
For you, what's the difference between middle and weak?
That's a good question. I think, early in my career, started off kind of in the middle, so more like vision, right? You're kind of seeing, that guard, center guard to, go to will. You're now kind of more so seeing half in a way, right? You're seeing tackles to the back and things like that. So the vision, I'd say, is a little different, right? Your matchups are a little different. But I feel comfortable in kind of doing either, to be honest with you. I played Mike for a long time, for most of my career, and then when I got here, I played Will, and really started to kind of get a feel for that too. So either way for me, I'm cool.
TJ, last year you guys kind of struggled to stop the run. There's a lot of the same personnel this year. What do you guys need to change at this point in the season, or at this point in training camp, I should say, to make sure that you don't go down that same path?
Yeah, I think it's good defenses start with that. Like no matter what, like we can't go, run our blitzes or throw these pressures up there on third down if it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 the whole game, and we lived in that for most of the year last year. So. Right, it's being able to kind of dictate those terms on 1st and 2nd down, whether it's tackles for losses or doing things up front. To again, those guys got so much talent up there to just let them go and let them go do what they need to do, and those things will come. But it's definitely a point of emphasis for sure.
TJ, what have been your early impressions of Ruben at Boyd?
Yeah, he's I think both him and Power have done such a good job of just kind of taking everything in. It's a lot, man. It's definitely a lot getting thrown at them, but they've done a really good job of just handling everything. Day one, they had snacks in the room, so that's big. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally that takes a couple days, and from day one, they came with a big box of snacks. Like, so for me, I'm good. Like, they did a good job for sure.
What do they have?
They had a good amount of candy. I will say we missed some sunflower seeds for sure. But again, like day one, they showed up with snacks. Like, I can't complain. But they've been doing an awesome job, man. I'm excited for them. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you guys.